Imagine two archers. One stands calm, breathing steadily and releases the arrow effortlessly. It hits the target. The other tries harder, grips the bow with tension, overthinks every movement and misses. Why does effort sometimes work against us? Why do we fail when we try too hard? Taoism has an answer. Wu Wei, often translated as effortless action, flowing with the natural way, or the art of not trying. It's the idea that the greatest success, the deepest wisdom, and the most fulfilling life don't come from force or struggle, but from letting go and aligning with the natural rhythms of existence. But this raises a question. If we stop trying, won't we fail? If we don't push ourselves, won't we be stuck? To understand why that's not the case, we have to explore the deeper meaning of Wu Wei and how it can change your life. 2. What Wu Wei really means, the misunderstood philosophy. The first mistake people make is thinking that Wu Wei means laziness, passivity, or avoiding effort. This is completely wrong. Taoist sages weren't saying, do nothing and life will give you everything. Instead, they were pointing to a deeper truth. There's a way of acting that doesn't feel like effort, because it aligns with the natural flow of life. Think about a river. It doesn't struggle to reach the ocean. It doesn't force its way through rocks. It flows naturally, adjusting to obstacles but always moving forward. That's Wu Wei. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, famously wrote, "The highest virtue is to act without striving." This doesn't mean you stop doing things, it means you do them in a way that feels effortless. A skilled musician doesn't force each note, they become one with the music. A great athlete doesn't overthink every move, they enter a state of flow. A confident person doesn't try to be confident, they just are. Wu Wei is about finding this effortless state in all areas of life. But what happens when we go against it? When we force things? 3. The paradox of effort, why force leads to failure. Modern society glorifies effort. We're told from a young age that hard work always pays off, that success is a matter of hustle, and that if you're not struggling, you're not trying hard enough. But Taoism challenges this mindset. It tells us that sometimes, the more we force things, the further we push them away. This is known as the paradox of effort, the idea that excessive effort often produces the opposite of what we desire. Think about these examples. The more you try to sleep, the more restless you become. You watch the clock telling yourself, I need to fall asleep now. But sleep never comes. However, the moment you stop trying, you drift off naturally. The more you try to impress someone, the more unnatural and awkward you seem. You carefully choose your words, overthink your gestures, and act in ways that don't feel natural. But when you relax and just be yourself, people are drawn to you. The more you force creativity, the more blocked you feel. Writers and artists know this well. If you pressure yourself to be creative, the ideas disappear. But when you step away and let go, inspiration strikes effortlessly. This paradox extends to all areas of life: relationships, careers, personal growth. The harder we push, the more resistance we create. Taoism explains this through the metaphor of water. Water is soft, flexible, and yielding, but it can carve through rock. Why? Because it doesn't resist. It flows naturally. It finds the easiest path, adapting to obstacles rather than fighting them. In the same way, when we stop forcing things, life often moves in our favor. Instead of chasing happiness, let it come naturally. Instead of forcing success, align yourself with what feels right. Instead of overanalyzing decisions, trust your instincts. It's not about doing nothing, it's about moving with life instead of against it. But to truly live this way, we need to change how we see effort itself. For the secret of mastery, why letting go works. If letting go and not trying seems counterintuitive, you're not alone. We've been conditioned to believe that effort is always good, and that working harder is always the solution. But the greatest masters in every field, whether in sports, music, business, or life itself, understand that true excellence is effortless. Let's look at some examples of Wu Wei in action. Bruce Lee, be water, my friend. Bruce Lee, one of the greatest martial artists of all time, didn't just train his body, he trained his mind using Taoist principles. He believed that the key to mastery wasn't brute force but adaptability. His famous quote, "Be water, my friend," captures the essence of Wu Wei. He understood that fighting stiffly, with tension and overthinking, would slow him down. Instead, he trained to flow, to react instinctively without hesitation, like water shaping itself to any obstacle. And what happened? He became one of the most fluid and unstoppable fighters the world has ever seen. Elite athletes in the flow state. In sports, the best performances don't come from trying harder. They come from entering the flow state, where actions feel effortless, reaction times are faster, and athletes move without hesitation. Top basketball players, for example, don't think, okay, now I'm going to jump, now I'm going to shoot. They just do it. Their bodies and minds are in perfect sync, moving without force. This is Wu Wei in action, not thinking, just flowing. Steve Jobs and effortless innovation. Even in the world of business, Wu Wei plays a role. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple by desperately chasing trends or trying to force success. Instead, he followed his intuition, working on what felt right rather than what seemed profitable at the time. Instead of forcing the market, he aligned himself with it. And that's how he changed the world. The lesson here? The most powerful actions are the ones that feel effortless. But how do you bring this effortless mastery into your own life? How to apply Wu Wei in your own life? If Wu Wei isn't about doing nothing and it's not about forcing things, then how do we actually practice it? Here are some ways you can bring the art of not trying into your daily life. 1. Stop fighting reality. Most of our stress comes from resisting what is. You want things to be different, but they're not. You want people to act a certain way, but they don't. You want immediate success, but it takes time. Wu Wei teaches us that instead of resisting reality, we should accept it and work with it. This doesn't mean giving up, it means adjusting to the flow of life instead of fighting against it. Think about sailing. You don't force the wind to blow in your favor, you adjust your sails. Life works the same way. 2. Follow what feels natural. Have you ever noticed that when you do something you love, it doesn't feel like work? That's because you're aligned with something natural for you. Wu Wei teaches us to move toward what feels effortless and right. If something constantly drains your energy, it may not be your path. If something excites you and feels natural, lean into it. If a relationship or opportunity feels forced, step back and reassess. Life becomes easier when you stop forcing what isn't meant for you. 3. Trust the process. Taoism teaches that everything happens in its own time. Flowers don't rush to bloom. Rivers don't struggle to reach the ocean. Yet, in our own lives, we constantly force things. We want success now. We want answers immediately. We want results before they're ready. But when we learn to trust the process, we remove unnecessary stress. Instead of rushing, we let life unfold naturally, while still taking action in the right direction. 6. The Taoist secret of self-discovery. There's a deeper reason why Wu Wei matters. It's not just about success, it's about who you are at your core. We spend so much time trying to find ourselves, trying to become someone, trying to prove our worth. But the more we chase an identity, the more disconnected we feel. Taoism flips this upside down. It tells us, you don't have to force who you are. You already are. Think about children. They don't overthink their actions. They don't try to impress. They don't struggle to be someone. They just are. And because of that, they live fully without stress. Wu Wei invites us to return to this state, not by being childish, but by removing the struggle, the overthinking, and the forced effort we've built up over time. When you stop trying to be something, you naturally become what you're meant to be. And that's where true peace and purpose begin. The final question, are you ready to let go? Think about your own life. Where are you forcing something that isn't meant to be? What if the solution isn't to try harder, but to let go? Taoism isn't about giving up, it's about finding the path that flows naturally. Are you ready to stop struggling and start flowing with life? This isn't just an ancient philosophy, it's a practical way to live a better life. If you've ever felt like you're pushing too hard and getting nowhere, if you've ever wanted to break free from struggle and live with more ease, if you've ever wondered if there's a better way, then you need to understand Wu Wei. Hit like if this video made you think. Hit subscribe if you want more wisdom that challenges the way you see life. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're ready to stop forcing?